Okay, she be going every single night. Day and night on my mind, pushing you to vibe.
How's it going, everybody? This is Tyler Driver. Hope you're having another great day, and welcome back to another video. Alright, so if you haven't seen on my YouTube channel a couple weeks ago, I attempted the Are You Hungry Fat Sandwich Challenge at the Are You Hungry location in Newark, New Jersey, which is just a few footsteps away from where I work at the New Jersey Symphony. There, I had to eat 5 sandwiches in a span of 45 minutes, and if I did, I would get my own sandwich on their board, along with the meal for free. Unfortunately, that did not go well. In fact, it really did not come close to even being well whatsoever. I only made it past 2 sandwiches before I ended up vomiting on the table, and so really, that was a pretty bad attempt. So a couple weeks of reflection now, I decided I wanted to do this video to give a little postmortem on what happened during that challenge, why I think I failed that challenge miserably, and what I think I could have done, and my overall thoughts on Are You Hungry in general, because it's a real good restaurant. However, I do feel like that the challenge I took on, I do feel like I should have been a lot more prepared than I thought I would, and so I'm going to give you a few reasons why I feel like that challenge did not go well. So as I mentioned before, throughout the entire week, I actually went through a whole lot of walks as well. In fact, at times I went to 2 walks a day actually for at least almost 700 calories or something like that, for about 3 hours. And really the reason why I did that is just because there were 5 sandwiches and they were all almost going to be like 8,000 to 10,000 calories almost. And I didn't want to have a whole lot of fat added onto me. So I felt like that, those extra walks would really help on preventing all of those calories from really gaining me a lot more weight. And also, because of that, I also prevented myself from eating a whole lot as well. I feel like I did well when it came to the former, but the latter, I now feel like that I probably should have done a lot better at. In fact, I really feel like I should have eaten a lot more prior to that challenge. The reason why I say that is because usually the competitive eaters, whenever they're doing restaurant challenges like this one, they really eat a lot of food prior to their actual challenge. In fact, they'll usually have a whole huge bowl of a whole bunch of things, whether it's like a salad or a fruit salad or any sort of meal, something like that, and then usually expand their stomach capacity. Me, I just relied on water and Powerade Zeros just to be able to get through that challenge. I feel like now that probably was not a smart idea. In order to complete a restaurant challenge, you need to have a real massive stomach capacity, and I am usually one that does not have that, even during the days when I was obese, especially when I was eating all that quickly, all those meals and all that stuff. So in my opinion, I feel like I should have done a lot better with expanding the mass of my stomach. In that case, I probably should have done a lot more than just drink water and Powerade Zero and all that stuff. I should have added a lot more of all that food in me, so that way it would have been big enough, that way I would have been able to complete the challenge without ending up as swole as I did. So that's one reason why I feel like I failed this challenge. The other reasons are all because of the sandwich itself. In fact, I actually have a little bit of a guest with me. Ladies and gentlemen, what I have with me is the Fat Knight. This was the first of 5 sandwiches that I had in the challenge. In fact, this was one of 5 sandwiches that I had during the challenge, and this one was really almost my kryptonite. It took me down literally before I even got going, and it really set the tone for the rest of the challenge. My other sandwiches, of course, were the Cocoa, which I did get to, and the other ones which I didn't get to were the Fat Daryl, the Fat Cat, and the Fat CBT. I went with a whole different mix of it, so that way it could give like a different variety and all that stuff. I feel like that was a big mistake, and I'll tell you why in just a little bit. But first, let me take you a little bit of a look at the sandwich in itself. Number one, the bread in itself. And the bread looks like it's a little crumbly because that's exactly the way it looked when I took the challenge. I thought that when I was looking at those sandwiches on YouTube along with the internet, it looked almost a lot like those Subway sandwich bread, the whole wheat and the Italian breads there was there. And I really thought it really looked like that. And I felt like it would have been a lot easier for me if it was those kinds of breads. It didn't. It looked almost like a piece of dough kind of bread or something like that was just made. And I feel like that, looking back at it, I should have done a lot better when it came to, being able to digest it a little bit better. And because of all the mass of this bread as well, maybe I feel like I should have done a lot more water in itself when I was doing this challenge. Because like when I was taking on this sandwich, I was doing the entire first sandwich without a bottle of water. I feel like that was a big mistake because I know that usually water, not only is it 0 calories, it also allows you to be able to bring it down a lot lot faster, because usually when you put water in with a whole bunch of food, it mixes it up so that way it shrinks it in mass and size, and it's a lot easier to digest as a result. So that was one reason why I think I failed this challenge, because I didn't digest enough water when I was doing the challenge overall, especially when it came to the fat night. The other thing that I had a problem on was with all the stuff that was inside the sandwich. I mean, look at all this that was inside this sandwich. This was mainly just all fries along with a whole bunch of chicken and all that stuff. In fact, the fat night here, it consists of mozzarella sticks, French fries, chicken fingers, a lot of cheesesteak, and marinara sauce. And a lot of those meats combined together, it really doesn't give a very good taste. I mean, as good and tasty as it is, it really doesn't do well for your stomach whatsoever. And unfortunately, that was what I went through during this challenge. All these meats combined, and the fact that there was a whole bunch of fries on the top. I mean, literally, when I was looking at the challenge and seeing all these sandwiches, there were just so many fries on these sandwiches that it really hurt my ability to be able to get them down real quickly. There were times where I just had to take fries out the sandwich in itself just so that way it can make it a lot easier for me to digest, and even that didn't work. All the meat and fries that were inside the sandwich, along with all the sauces that was in those sandwich, along with the fat cocoa as well, it really messed up my stomach. And unfortunately, it became a whole lot harder for me to be able to digest it. There were a lot of times where I ended up stopping and starting again, just all because of all the meats and mass inside the sandwich really kept me from being able to go very far, and it really just hurt my ability to complete the challenge, and it really just hurt my stomach as a whole. As a result, it made me sick, and as a result, all those meats combined in my stomach, it really hurt me overall. And as a result, that was exactly the reason why I ended up vomiting on the table as it is, because me eating it that fast and putting in a lot more than I really should have, it really made it too much for my stomach to handle. And so really, I feel like that was one reason why I probably felt like I shouldn't have taken on the challenge in the first place, but if I did, which I don't regret, I would have to do it a whole lot better. Finally, I feel like sandwich choice overall may have been my biggest downfall. I feel like that, combining all those sandwiches as a whole really made a big problem, because like I said, I tried to go for diversity. I tried to go for 5 different sandwiches just so I can give it a little bit of flavor. I feel like that when I looked at the fat night and then the fat cocoa next to that, it really ended up becoming a problem for me. In fact, the fat cat, fat Daryl, and fat CBD, which I didn't get to, I didn't even bother bringing them home because I ended up having vomit all over those while I was trying to down the fat cocoa. When I was looking at this, I saw a lot of YouTube videos with a whole lot of other people doing the challenge. Most of them did quite a few of fat cocos. In fact, fat cocoa seems to be a very popular sandwich there. In fact, a lot of the challengers that I saw take on this challenge will have like 2 or 3 fat cocos with them, and then at least a few other sandwiches to go on with it as well, or like 1 or 2 other different ones as well. Next time I do this challenge, I feel like I should do like at least 2 or 3 fat cocos, or maybe just make the entire row fat cocos, because while I was looking at all those people that did this challenge, the fat cocoa seemed to be the more preferred sandwich, and as a result, it made it a lot easier for all of those guys to be able to down them, because the fat cocoa, it really didn't have a whole lot in them. It was mainly just like mozzarella sticks, French fries, cheesesteak, and marinara sauce, and that was pretty much it, and that made it a lot easier to be able to down as a result. The fat night, which I did, it had a lot more than that, and unfortunately, all those meats in there combined, as I said before, I feel like I should have saved this sandwich for one of the last sandwiches that I should have eaten. I should have went with the fat cocoa, fat CBT, and then the fat Daryl first, and then get to the fat cat and then the fat night here at the very last sandwiches, because having the first sandwich with all those meats in there combined, I feel like that completely messed me up right from the very get-go. So yeah, the next time I do this challenge, if I ever do this challenge again, I'd probably just take the entire row as fat cocos and go with it from there, because it feels like that's probably the preferred sandwich for those that are attempting this challenge. Heck, Adam Richmond, when he attempted this challenge, he went with 2 fat cocos, and then there were a few others that did 2 or 3 fat cocos. So I feel like that next time, the fat cocoa should probably be my preferred choice. Probably at least 2 or 3 of them, if not the entire row of it. Again, as I said before, that's $50 that I'm not getting back in my life, and unfortunately that sucks, because I really felt like that I could actually try to do this challenge, but like I said before, the moment I saw the sandwiches like this, it completely screwed me up right away, and I just could not get very far as a result. And so that's really one of my biggest regrets, but I don't regret doing the challenge as a whole. I wanted to try it because it was something that I saw on TV and I felt like I wanted to do for quite some time, and so I'm happy that I did it. Again, those are just some of the things that I feel like I really regret doing, and I really feel like that I should have done a lot differently. But like I said, Are You Hungry is still a pretty good place. For my first time ever being there, I feel like that there are a bunch of real good sandwiches, and I definitely feel like that will be a pretty good lunch or dinner stop for me the next time I go to Are You Hungry, whenever I'm not bringing anything with me to work for lunch. So I feel like I want to try every single fat sandwich there every single week, just to taste each one of them, see how well they look, and really just, see exactly why Are You Hungry is such a popular destination for students at Rutgers University in both New Brunswick and Newark. So it's definitely a good restaurant. And again, if you're in the Newark area or New Brunswick, I definitely encourage you to come check it out and try some of their sandwiches and see how well it goes, because it's a good place and there's definitely a lot of options for you there. And so I thank them for allowing me to try the challenge, and again, really wish I could have been a lot better, but in the end, it is what it is. So, alright, so my next video is going to be a life update video, which is going to be next Saturday, so there will not be a midweek video, but there was quite a bit that happened to me the last couple of months other than the fat sandwich challenge that I took. So I will talk about all of those in my life update video next Saturday, along with all the other content that I have planned for the rest of the summer, starting in my video next week. So stay tuned for next week for everything that's happened with me, along with everything else that you should know in regarding the next few weeks. Anyways, that's going to do it for another video. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, if you'd like to see more of my content, be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know when my latest video is released. Comment below for future suggestions for all my videos, whether it's vlogs, projects, or challenges, you name it. Leave it in the comments below and I'll do my best to make them. As always, follow me on my social media. All the links are in the description below. That's going to do it for another video. I hope you're having another great day. And as always, I hope to see all of you get another video very soon. Now, in the meantime, I do have a little dinner that I have to tend to, so I'm going to go ahead and get into that. So long, everybody.